The dark case of Becky Watts. Becky Watts was a 16-year-old girl that went missing from her home at around 4 p.m. and was nowhere to be found. Let's find out what happened. Hello everyone and welcome to our YouTube channel. In this video we will discuss the case of Becky Watts. But before diving into the video, please make sure you like, share and subscribe. Also, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. On the 19th of February 2015, Becky was last seen by her stepmother, Angie Glassworthy, at their house in Bristol. Angie was suffering from a disease known as multiple sclerosis, so at around 11:15 a.m. she left for her appointment at the hospital. But when she returned, Becky was nowhere to be found. They reported her to be missing at 4 p.m. During the investigation, her phone, tablet, computer and laptop were found missing, but she didn't take any money or clothes with her. So multiple questions were raised, such as why didn't she tell anyone that she was going away? Why didn't she take any clothes or money? No one really believed that she went away of her own will because it was out of her character. On the 22nd of February, police appealed for information regarding her and the movements of a black Vauxhall Zafira. Her father, along with her grandmother, arranged a press conference for her safe return. In addition to that, an online campaign emerged with the hashtag #FindBecky on social media and reached around 2 million people all around the globe. Police, on the other hand, started searching nearby properties including Barton Hill, St George's Park, Southmead and Troopers Hill. Other searches involved spaces like parks and house-to-house inquiries. Public volunteers also searched in places like Wharf Rock, Baddock Wood and Trim Valley. These inquiries were initially being done on the statement given by her stepbrother Nathan Matthews and his girlfriend Shauna Hoare, who were present in the house at the time. They told the police that they'd heard the door slam, so they assumed that she'd left. But later, police discovered Becky's blood on the door frame and also Nathan's fingerprints. So Nathan and Hoare were arrested on the 28th of February in connection with the disappearance of Becky, but later on the 2nd of March, they were again arrested for murder suspicion. The very same day, Becky's dismembered body was found on a property at Barton Hill. First, Nathan was charged with murder on the 4th of March, and later on the 6th of March, 4 other people were arrested for assisting in murder and disposing of her body. Hoare was also charged with murder on the 22nd of June. Becky's funeral took place on the 17th of April at St Ambrose Church in Whitehall. The trial for the murder started on the 6th of October in Bristol Crown Court. The prosecution presented its case that Becky was suffocated by Nathan and his girlfriend while kidnapping her from the room. This kidnapping was called to be sexually motivated. The prosecution further added that after finding out that Becky is dead, they put her body in their car boot. After arriving home, they ordered Chinese takeaway and spent the day as if nothing happened. They stayed in that house till other family members arrived and behaved completely normal in front of them. Later, they went to their house and dismembered the body with a knife and a circular saw over the next few days. After dismembering the body, they put the pieces into a bag and a box and hid them in a neighbour's shed. Not being able to hear what the prosecution was telling to the jury, Becky's mother, Tanya, left the courtroom with tears in her eyes. The other friends and family members also broke into tears while prosecution read what happened to Becky. During the trial, Nathan admitted that he tried kidnapping his stepsister, but he said he accidentally killed her and not intentionally. In addition to this, he also claimed that Becky was killed by him alone and Hoare was not involved. His girlfriend also claimed that she did not have any knowledge about the murder and was not involved in it. But on the other hand, the prosecution said the text messages that they exchanged to each other suggested a shared unnatural interest in attractive teenage females. The prosecution also presented CCTV evidence about the movements of Nathan and Hoare. On the 19th of February, before visiting their house, they went to Tesco to buy batteries. They claimed that these batteries were used in the stun gun that they intended to use while kidnapping Becky. The next day, Nathan was seen buying a circular saw to dismember the body. Later, between the 20th of February and the 22nd of February, the couple was seen buying cleaning products as they needed to clean their washroom where they dismembered the body. The DNA test of the items found with the body linked with both Nathan and Hoare. On the 11th of November, the jury decided that Nathan was guilty of murder and Hoare was guilty of manslaughter. Both of them were convicted for conspiring a kidnapping preventing justice, preventing the burial of Becky's body, and for possessing an illegal stun gun. The other two people were charged for a 2-year and 16-month imprisonment separately, but they insisted that they did not know what was inside the package that was kept by Nathan in their shed. On the 13th of November, Nathan was sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum of 33 years, and Hoare was sentenced to 17 years in prison. The judge, in the end, agreed with the prosecution that they planned kidnapping for a sexual purpose and told Nathan that he had a fixation on having sex with petite teenage girls. Later, Nathan and Hoare appealed against their convictions and sentences, but it was rejected by the Court of Appeal on the 23rd of June 2016. The court said no reasonable argument that the convictions are unsafe or that the sentences were wrong in principle or manifestly excessive. In February 2016, a crime prevention movement known as Neighbourhood Watch Partnership funded a wooden bench carved by Andy O'Neill in the memory of Becky Watts in a goat's field which was close to her home. In March 2016, Becky's father released a memoir that included Becky's life, murder and trial. This memoir was entitled The Heartbreaking Story of Becky Watts and was published by HarperCollins. What seemed like a normal couple to everyone turned out to be harboured with such disturbing sexual fantasies. In front of everyone's eyes, Nathan seemed like a person who would always joke and laugh. On the other hand, his girlfriend always cared for his ill mother. But what people didn't know were their intimate and disturbing messages about kidnapping petite girls. Their phones and computers were full of pornography and usually forced on teenage schoolgirls and threesomes. Not being content and satisfied after watching it on their screens, they tried turning their fantasies into reality. First, they persuaded one of their friends for a threesome, and then Nathan turned towards his own stepsister to use her as a sexual plaything, as described by the prosecution. Nathan was brought up by his grandmother and her husband in South Gloucestershire. Where he was a teenager, he would spend hours in his room and would take his food into his room too. It is believed that this is where his fantasies started, as he would view sexual images every day. He tried studying for an electrician's course but failed. He became a delivery boy. He suffered from a rheumatic condition, fibromyalgia, that would leave him in pain, anxiety and depression. Nathan himself agreed that he had anger issues and said that he was emotionally unstable, psychologically disturbed, a caveman. Hoare, on the other hand, was in childcare before she moved back to her birth mother when she was 13 years old. She met Nathan when she was 14 and he was nearly 20. After a few years, both of them moved in together at a place at St George. Nathan was also violent towards Hoare and almost strangled her once. Nathan was very controlling towards her and would call her fat and didn't let her study. In the witness box, she said, "I felt like a child. He was my dad almost. He controlled every aspect of my life." The investigation revealed the only thing that kept them together was sex. A professor of criminology at the University of Birmingham said that they have a mental condition called folie à deux, meaning a madness shared by two people. Nathan and Hoare said that they didn't like Becky, especially when she would behave badly with his mother. Nathan kept insisting that he was not sexually interested in Becky, but he just wanted to teach her a lesson for treating her mother badly. He told her that this was the only reason he wanted to kidnap her. Hoare, on the other hand, kept her similar narrative that she was not involved in the murder or in any aftermath activities. However, the jury didn't buy their stories and was adamant about their decision and thought that their stories are nonsense. This case also has similarities to another murder of a woman, Joanne Yates, which took place in Bristol. It was also considered to be a sexually motivated murder by her neighbour. It was discovered during the investigation that he was also a hardcore user of pornography. The Guardian UK mentioned that their experts said that they cannot conclude if the murders were the result of an obsession with sexual images or not, but mentioned that the teen porn was often a gateway to images of child sexual abuse and actual violence. People are nowadays obsessed with strange things. The more awareness and accessibility are increasing, the more crimes are also increasing. So we should all keep in mind that we don't know how the other person is, even if we live with them. You would never know what's going on in someone's mind. With that, we come to the end of our video. Do let us know in the comments section below if you want us to cover more similar stories. Lastly, please subscribe to our channel and hit the bell button to get notified of our next video.